Imagine for a moment going to do your job and hearing this.
Guilty of just because they're young, not going to be allowed. And so it wasn't really a surprise when yesterday it came out that it wasn't going to happen. All right,
A victory for students. Do you want to get their faces for me?
Well,
that's perfect. We got it on tape. Thanks.
That's CBC Television reporter Shannon Martin on assignment recording an interview when a group of teens came up to her and shouted repeatedly, as you heard, "F her right in the P." We'll leave it up to you to fill in the blanks, but if you check out YouTube, you'll see numerous examples of female reporters in communities all around the world hearing the same sort of abuse. Here in Toronto, City TV reporter Shauna Hunt decided to take action. She asked the men who were taunting her to explain their actions. Her footage has gone all around the world. It cost one man his job, and it's launched a larger conversation on this subject. Reporter Shannon Martin is here to talk about her own experience and what happened. Good morning.
Thanks for having me.
We just heard part of that exchange. What had you been doing when those young men came up behind you?
We were reporting on a story, a great story about a local high school about two students who had done some great work. And so we were just there, as we often do. We stand on a street corner across from a high school, and we just talk to students over lunch break. And it was actually in the span of about 5 minutes that half a dozen different groups did this to us. This is something we constantly face, though, I would say once a week.
Just once a week you go out and something like this will happen?
Absolutely. And it's drivers yelling it out their car windows. I was at the X last summer in the middle of the kids section, and a woman yelled it as the anchor was reading the intro. So I wasn't live yet, but I was, 5 seconds from being live. So it happens all the time.
I want to talk about what happened in this case, but just what is that like? I mean, as I said in the introduction, imagine going out to do your job and this is what happens to you.
I want to curl up in myself. It's mortifying, and that shows on my face. I really try to work hard on my poker face, and I think that I have been guilty of thinking I'm tougher than I am, because my strategy has been to just ignore it, because I feel like if I reacted, that might cause something bigger. And if you're live, you want to diffuse as quickly as possible. But that day at the high school, yes, it was 5 minutes, it was half a dozen times, and I was fed up with it.
How young were these people who were making these comments? Do you know?
Yes, well, at this time, we're talking high school, so 14, 15, 16. So after we left, I was having a conversation with the cameraman, just saying, I'm sick of this. But I get that they're teenagers. I have seen adults, and in the situation of Shauna Hunt, they were grown-ups. But these were teenagers, and it bothered me, and it always bothers me. And I stewed on it for a few days before I sent the video to the principal.
So tell us about that. What did you decide to do?
Well, I wrote a letter, because I was once encouraged by my grandma to write things down, and if you're still angry several days later, then take action if you need to. So that's what I did, thought about it, and I thought, I have the video. And this situation, we watched them walk into their school. So instead of being at Yonge Dundas Square with some random person, I knew at least that these kids could be easily identifiable. So I actually reached out to the local school board and said, look, this happened. And they encouraged me to send the video. They were apologetic. They said it was unacceptable and give us the video and we'll take it from here. And that's what they did, and their response was amazing.
What happened?
They were able to use it as a learning opportunity. They showed the video to the parents of the young people involved and had a conversation with them. And then they got back to me and let me know that they did that, and I was very pleased. To me, that was above and beyond.
What would you want the students to know about that? Because, as you say, they're young people. They have seen this online. They might think that they're imitating behavior, and they may not understand the consequences of this. What would you want them, having gone through the whole experience, what would you want them to understand about what you were facing?
Exactly, and I think that at least in my situation, because they were younger, they were trying to get a laugh from their buddies. But I don't think that they were thinking about the words and what that means, and if it was their sister or their mother or whomever on the street corner. So they had the opportunity to have the conversation with their school, but I know, and I have been since, back at high schools. And I think it's really just thinking about the power of words. And although I'm on a street corner with a camera, so I am in the public sphere, it's still my workplace, and you wouldn't yell that at a bus driver, at a bank teller, or anybody else in a workplace.
You also wouldn't yell it at a man.
Right.
Pretty good chance if he was there standing up doing television work.
And I have been asking my male colleagues, and they haven't faced this.
Does it make you cautious, fearful about going out and doing the work that you're doing? One of the things that Shauna was saying, which she was asked to happens last night, is that she didn't want to take this assignment because she had a sense that this was going to happen to her.
Absolutely. It's terrifying because Raptors playoffs, and I'm not categorizing them, but in any situation where it's like you're one person with one camera person, there's no more lighting or audio person standing there. So it's just the two of you in a huge crowd. And I have expressed that to my assignment producers that it's uncomfortable. A lot of us, we have a lot of female members on our team, and we all feel the same way. It's very uncomfortable. There's alcohol and a big crowd.
Shannon, thank you. Shannon Martin is a reporter with CBC Television.